The following program contains mature subject matter. Viewer discretion is advised.
As a female, I think sometimes it is hard to start that conversation if your partner doesn't ask.
My recommendation, and I think this is important, is you think about how many hours and years we spend learning things, but one of the things we often don't learn, as doctors, we have to learn human anatomy. And so there's an element just as part of our careers where you begin to learn things about anatomy maybe you didn't know before, including your own. And I think that people are very naive when it comes to especially the anatomy of their partner. And the first step is learning. And in my opinion, reading, it's not always obvious. It's not as though our private parts come with an instruction guide and say, you know, push here, press here. This is, but reading about it and at least learning and then talking and saying, hey, you could even say, hey, I read that
and have
this,
fun.
You know, can I try it? And
have
no,
fun
that doesn't work for me.
That's a healthy relationship.
As long as you're doing so in a responsible manner.
Yes.
A responsible manner, because there is a such thing as an orgasm gap. Apparently, heterosexual females have fewer orgasms than men, lesbian females, and bisexual women. So I think it's about women knowing kind of where to hit. So just guys, just a heads up, a lot of women don't have orgasms just through vaginal penetration. So clitoral stimulation is a good place to go if you have some questions or some doubts.
I have one more comment. I would love for you to address it as an obstetrician gynecologist. I do think sometimes, though, getting back to, yes, it's important to understand anatomy and all these other things and what do you like, but I think it also undermines what we always call the most important sexual organ, and that's what's between your ears.
Yep.
And I think sometimes you can become so obsessed with functional components that we're not machines. And I think sometimes that part of that open, honest communication could maybe help connect you in a way where maybe you're doing things that may lead your partner to an orgasm, but then also you just enjoy each other a little bit more as opposed to all the pressure and the faking and should I fake it, should I not fake it? Did she have an orgasm, did she not? Was she close? Did she, you know, Drew?
Yeah, it's not a good
I don't know
thing.
about your whole...
Going in and say, I'm going to get through all the moves in pages 1 through 10 today.
Yeah. That's very true. And also, if you are a female and you are not having an orgasm, there may be a health reason as to why you're not. So if it's a real issue for you, make sure you're having a conversation with your gynecologist because there could be an underlying medical condition. And if you address that, then perhaps you will be able to climax with the 87%
do you find that
of men who almost always.
A woman needs to know what they want down there.
Yeah.
They need to know their own body anatomy.
And up here. Yes. Same with men. Same with men, because look, people want to undermine, just because in the study 87% of men almost always have an orgasm, that doesn't mean that there isn't a lot of supratentorial things going on up in the noggin, meaning, you know, men suffer with a lot of the same emotional, men who suffer from premature ejaculation, for instance, which, you know, if you do, you have to go talk to your doctor about that. If you're climaxing every single time before your spouse, that's something, you know, you could have a medical condition causing that.
Right.
But I think it's also important. I've said this on the show before. One of the greatest blessings for me in life is that my parents didn't know that I found the Joy of Sex book downstairs.
You really liked that book as a child.
I would read books and such, but when I found that book, I kept rereading chapters. Like, okay, I would highlight it.
Right.
I would put little flaps on certain pages.
Yeah.
So
Took notes, huh?
Oh yeah.
Look at you.
You know,
that's right after we read The Joy of Sex.
It does look like that. Yeah, it does.
Yeah, that kid right there, he had a lot of free time to read because he was, I mean, most people weren't hanging out with him in his red sweater.
Oh,
that's a cute picture.
Really?
That's
it's
never
a
be
cute
worth
picture.
go now on eBay.
There is one thing that picture is, and it's embarrassing.
It's a nice picture.
But I will say, you know, I break out that sweater sometimes.
You have it?
No, I'm kidding. Yes, Drew, I actually cut off the sleeves, and I consider it now my foreplay. Anyway, communication is key.
Yes.